Hey, how you doing? It's Erik with Annubis Productions. This was previously the Diakonia Podcast. We've just revamped it. It's now going to be the Annubis Productions. It's making movies with Annubis Productions, making films with Annubis Productions, something of that nature we decided on. And you can see it in your app or whatever it is. You know, you'll see the name. Making movies with Annubis Productions, I believe is what I went with in my stroke of genius that I am, because basically Diakonia is happening, it's going on. I just sent it to a producer recently, to have them look at it. They had some interest from someone that's looking to do faith-based productions. They're looking for some faith-based projects, so that is actually still in the works. The tell them I'm sorry concept, we're still pushing, and basically, so we have all this stuff going on. And it's not just Diakonia. And there's only so much that can go on with Diakonia at a time, especially right now because, we have the product the vehicle made to sell it, but we need to make those connections. The connections where people are interested in buying it or putting it in production or helping us to fund us to put it into production. There's a lot of routes it could go. Like someone could buy the concept off us, they could buy the script off us, they could say, we want to make it, you can write it, but you can't shoot it, Erik. There's a million different ways this could happen, and unfortunately with films there's a million more ways it won't happen. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I'm prayerful and hopeful and woo, but I realized just making it the Diakonia Podcast, that was great in the beginning when there was a lot more action with it and it kept everyone updated. But then I was like, we might as well switch it to making films with Annubis Productions, because we are doing so many other projects than that, and some people are interested, some people aren't, obviously. So I figured, hey, let's make it more fun. Let's be inclusive of all of our projects and not make it just the Diakonia Podcast. And then hopefully, every other week, I'm going to shoot for a minimum of once a month, hopefully every other week, a 10-minute update, 15-minute update. And then if you're, someone related to me that wants to know what I'm doing, or a friend, or who knows, whoever is following this, I listen to a podcast. They're really great, and they call it their followers mom's friends, because they just assumed it's just their mom's friends that are following them. And so yeah, I don't know. So whoever in the black hole of the interweb universe hears this is amazing, and thank you for following it, and thank you for keeping up with us. And we're just pushing forward on all these different projects, and it's hard to raise money, it's hard to make connections, it's hard to do all this stuff, but when I always say to people, I do this because I'm too stupid to stop, and that's I love to do this. And so that's why we do the We Are Lebanon PA campaign, which is something now I can talk about on this. And that's our free positivity campaign we do in Lebanon. We've been doing it for over 5 years. I think we have over 150 interviews we've done with artists and local business and local nonprofits that we get out there. Sometimes we do things just for the community. One year we did fun, just to play with green screen. So We Are Lebanon PA tends to be a test ground for other things I'm doing a lot of times, be it lighting, be it backdrops. We just did a series of interviews with Ben Kutz was one, and we had a couple more people, and we had Tell Them I'm Sorry. No, I'm sorry, not Tell Them I'm Sorry. This Is Why I Believe is another project we're doing, and I had an interview for that, and I didn't want them to all have the same backdrop, and I hadn't played with green screen in a while. So what we ended up doing is picking out just doing green screen for everybody, and then I replaced that obviously with a backdrop that fit whatever the interview was. The one gentleman was a local builder, House Proud, really neat guy doing really cool stuff in the community, and so we put him in this big warehousey construction sort of place. It's a cool background for him, gives it fake depth of field, and just have some fun with it. And then we did Ben Kutz, Ben Kutz is a strongman competitor, and he just moved back to the area a little bit after being in Pittsburgh a while, and he has a fun story, and he's really positive, and he's bringing it to Lebanon, all that positivity. So for him, we put a gym in the background, and it was just something fun to play with, because in Annubis Productions, the business that we do, I do commercial film and video production, so we do all sorts of stuff. And I actually had a shoot 2-3 weeks ago in Philadelphia, and we had to be shooting on green screen. So this was something hey, it's good to practice. It's good to just get that, kind of keep the muscle memory going on some of this stuff, because when you do what we do, we don't, I'm not dedicated to just doing one thing. Like Annubis Productions, we do drone work as well. So if I don't fly the drone in a while, I'm not as good with the drone, and green screen and everything else is the same thing. So we try to keep up with all these things, and part of that is through our We Are Lebanon PA campaign. And then we can spread, hopefully some positivity in the community. Obviously, it hopefully gets Annubis Productions' name out there in the community, and hopefully people are, interested in using us then, seeing what we're doing, seeing our work. So by doing this, making films with Annubis Productions podcast and switching it over, I can now update you on all that We Are Lebanon PA fun stuff that we just did. I can tell you about This Is Why I Believe, which is another project we're doing locally. We're offering extremely reduced rates. We're at like 50% off the next project. The last project was like 25% off, 75% off. We're kind of building it, so we're trying this next project to be at 50% off. But basically, we shoot interviews with people who are just telling you why they believe in God. And it originated more out of a curiosity. My pastor was saying something about, why do you believe in Jesus and why do you believe in God? And I think that's such an interesting question for a lot of people, and it isn't necessarily always a religious question for some people. At the same time, yes, mostly people of faith so far are the ones that want to do them. And I started it by just having 5 random people that I put a post up on We Are Lebanon PA. They came in, we did those. They were a success. They're all reaching over 1,000 views or more, which is just, great for social media. Is really great. And they've been going up, 1,000, 1,500. Some I think have reached over that. So then we did another set. I think I did a couple more, and then we got Encounter Church of Palmyra. They decided to jump in on it, and we gave them a highly reduced rate. And we shot, I think, the coolest interviews we've done yet there. I think they looked amazing. The people were amazing. We had some great stories. And it's neat because the stories always surprise me because people believe in God for different reasons. And, again, even if it's a faith reason, like people come to that decision from so many different angles, even being raised religious or raised in faith, raised in the church, to being raised in the church and walking away and then coming back and why they came back, to traumatic incidences, to all sorts of things. And it's really been eye-opening, and it's such a cool project, and it is reaching a lot of people. And I'm really hopeful that we could spread that in the faith community, and it be something that we could get more churches interested in doing. Because then what I do is, like for Encounter Church, we put a whole ending on just for them. We cut 2 versions, one for their Sunday morning service that was like a minute long, and that they could kind of use as a teaser for people to then send them over to check out the actual videos. And then we did ours that we put out on Tell Them I'm Sorry, the Facebook page, which is where you can check it out. And then on Annubis Productions, multiple social medias, we put it out. But on the Tell Them I'm Sorry page, they're doing phenomenally well compared to most churches' social media. A church puts out a post, and generally speaking, they're lucky to get 50 views on it and 3 likes. We're getting, again, over 1,000 views, over 1,500 views on these things. So, and then what we also do in the post is we tag the church, and we encourage people to contact them if they'd have questions or any would like to speak to someone about their faith journey. And I think it's an amazing outreach in a lot of ways for people. And it's also then I found to be a real builder community, a community builder inside the church, because then you're getting to share these stories with people in your church that other people don't necessarily know. And when you go to a bigger church, it's hard to know these stories. It's hard, you see people in the hallway, you're like, oh hey Bill, whatever, but you don't have that intimacy, that experience of knowing them or why they're there. They're just other people. So this builds community inside the church as well. So as a project, I think it's amazing. I'm super excited about it. I do not have a salesperson at Annubis Productions, so I have no one out there pitching this to people. If you are someone that would want to work sales on a commissions basis, reach out to Annubis Productions. We have multiple projects that people could run with, but at the moment, we don't have anyone that's doing that. But this is a project that I'm really hoping, from a faith-based perspective, and just from a cool project. Like, it's been so much fun. So I'm really hoping we can grow this project and hopefully not be doing a bunch more free ones to try to generate that, because it's hard to do all the free stuff. But I know I'm going to run into somebody, and I'm going to end up being like, well, that's a really cool story. So we're going to probably end up doing some. But so there's that project, and with This Is Why I Believe. And again, check it out on Facebook, like it, share it. It's really cool what we're doing there, I think. And then we're also working on Tell Them I'm Sorry, which is a project that's been hanging around for, I don't even want to know how long. I wrote the script quite a while ago. It is a scripted piece that plays like a documentary. So it's kind of difficult to get grants for and things, because most grants are for documentaries. And if it's not a documentary, it's scripted. So it's a narrative, but when you watch it, it looks like a documentary. Hopefully, I want people to think it's a documentary. And if we do it right, they'll think it's a documentary. And that's what you want, because that's what's going to grab people. And Tell Them I'm Sorry is basically, it's an effort to tell amazing stories and also share the fact with people that, most people don't know who is most susceptible to dying by suicide. And this is a way that people can be made aware of that. Most people don't realize that the freshman year of college for kids has a very high suicide rate, because it's such a changing environment and kids are at that age. It's such a malleable age, and plus, you're growing, you're learning, and a lot of kids they don't know how to deal with it. It also deals with veterans. It deals with, the highest rate of suicide is among 85 and older in elderly people, which, I'll be honest, before I did the research on this project, there's just so much of it I didn't know. Like, there's assumptions people make about suicide that are just incorrect, because we hear certain things in the media and you hear about this and you hear about that. A very high rate of suicide is middle-aged white males in their 40s who get divorced. Super high rate of suicide. I had no idea. And, you read some of this stuff and you're just like, wow. So this was an effort to share those stories of people. And it's weird. Like, it's controversial in some ways. It's been read by many mental health specialists and people in the mental health field. It's been read by survivors. I've always get a lot of encouragement to make it, because it is different, and they think people will resonate and it'd be a good way to reach people with this information, because it's different. And again, it's just not your normal thing. And basically, it's just 8 interviews. It's 8 interviews with 8 people who fit into those demographics of people who are most at risk. And it's just 8 sit-down interviews with them expressing why they're considering to commit suicide. And it's extremely heavy. But at the same time, the pieces, I think, the way that people share them, and we're going to be shooting them in a unique way, in the sense that we're going to shoot with a lot of cameras. So we're going to end up shooting with a minimum of 6 cameras. And then we're going to end up having, for each interview, a minimum of between 12 and 20 shots that we can cut to. So it's going to make these interviews move a lot quicker than what, some people read it and they're like, oh, well, it's like, 8-minute shorts. And it is, but it isn't. There's chances we could intercut it with the people. I don't plan to. I really think the best way it plays is it plays with each interview. And then at the end of the interview, you get an update on that person, and if they're still with us, and a brief update if they passed, and if they passed, how do they passed, and nothing, detailed, but just enough, to know what happened with that person. And I think once you watch that first one and you realize at the end, like, you kind of get an update, and then the next person starts. I really think it's going to be gripping. And again, it's different, and it's a different way to reach people. There's also a sense that after it's shot, it could be broken up, and the pieces could be used separately for different forms of therapy, different forms of outreach. You could separate out. There is a person who is a freshman in college. We also have another high rate of suicide are young girls in high school. And so that's a piece we have too. There's another one, with mental health. There's again another one with veterans. So they could also be broken up and then used in those specific places in high schools to reach people in different counseling scenarios and stuff. So we're really, this project wouldn't go away. It keeps coming back. People keep asking about it. And it's something that I finally was like, we're just going to figure out how to do it. And it is going to be extremely painful and difficult to do without financing. And so we are doing the donor box campaign. We've put back out, and we're really hoping to find people that are interested in supporting it, even at a $5 level. Like, anything helps. Obviously, if we could I talked to some people at a charity, nonprofits locally, who gave me advice, and they're like, start with your mega donors. And I don't have mega donors. So I was like, well, we can't do that. But usually you start with your mega donors, and that gets the ball rolling, and then people start going, oh yeah, we're going to jump on board. I don't have that. I'm not someone that's frequently asked for money. I mean, we have done donor box things. Diakonia was never successful. I wasn't good at figuring that out. But I'm hopeful with this, with the topic. A lot of people realize that it's something important. It's something that speaks to a lot of people. And I think it's unfortunately, it's something that's just has really risen since COVID and through COVID, and I think it's something important to get done. And I'm hoping people will see that, and even $5, can donate to us. Or if they have an organization, if you have an organization that's looking to, support local things or film or this cause, please reach out to me. I can explain, to you. I can give you scripts. I can, whatever you want, that kind of thing, because we would just love to, partner with people to get this done. Because it's I think an important stories that people haven't heard of. And we're going to shoot January, February, come heck or high water, as the saying goes. I'm going to figure it out. Through Annubis Productions, we have most of the equipment we need, that we can make it work. The problem is it costs money for makeup. It costs money for talent. I want to pay actors. I don't want to be getting people to do it for free. We do have people that are interested already that are sending me auditions, but they're loaning their talent to something like this. It's something that's going to take time for them to really piece together. So I don't want to be in that position where I can't pay them for their time. I don't want to have to ask crew to work for free. I have some people, because of the type of topic it is, and plus that just, I have a relationship with through the business that like working with us. I really don't want to do that to anybody. So we're trying desperately to raise, even a minimum amount that we can pay everybody. So if you can please pass along the Tell Them I'm Sorry links. I'm going to be littering the Annubis Productions Facebook with them, our LinkedIn, our Twitter, or X as it may be. All of our Instagram, all of our social media is going to be littered with these, and any support you can give would be amazing. Just sharing them is a huge thing. Sharing them really, it gets them out there. So it's a big deal. And Lebtown's going to be doing an article on it, so I'm really excited about that. Some of the people at the Lebanon Mental Health center in town that are with the community, the government, they're very kindly have said they'll speak with Lebtown about it and talk to them about their experience, and because I had met with them to get their opinion, because again, it's such a sensitive thing. We don't want it in any way to be something that seems to be disrespectful or inappropriate, and they were all very encouraging, and everyone's been very encouraging. So it's just finding the money to make this all come together, and then we'd be able to shoot, I think, a really amazing piece that's been in the works for quite some time. So that's another project Annubis Productions is doing. We also have been doing a bunch of shooting out of town lately for Comcast, which is fun. They'll call us and they'll hire me and usually one other person, and we'll go shoot in Philadelphia. And next week we're shooting in Philadelphia. We're shooting in Baltimore. So I mean, that stuff's going on, but at the same time, we're still looking for more work, where we have plenty of time on our schedule right now. So if your business has commercial film and video needs, please reach out to us. You have drone needs, reach out to us. We have a really talented person working on some SEO, search engine optimization, for the company. So I'm really excited about that, because I'm hoping to just get our name out there more, and a lot of people have encouraged me to go that route to try to just get more awareness. And actually, we have had one local company, a nice size one, contact us, and they were like, we did not know you were around. And to me, it's always amazing after doing the We Are Lebanon PAs for all these years and all the stuff we do, but I realize, a lot of people don't know we're around. So if you see any of our ads, that company is also every now and then putting out a little Facebook ads, or if you see our posts, about hiring Annubis Productions, please put it out there. We do editing for people as well. Like I do a good bit of editing for other commercial projects where people shoot and I edit. We also do the whole project for you, so we can come in. We just did a recent piece for the Lebanon Rescue Mission that was amazing, and we can sit down with you. We do everything from, hey, this is what I want, I need you and your equipment to do it, and we say great, and we partner with you to do it, to, hey, we have to do this video and we've never done a video, and then we sit down with you and we partner with you, and we give you all the information you need to help you get the most production value for your money, and hopefully make an amazing product. So I think that's pretty much for the day. This is the first making films with Annubis Productions. But yeah, and Diakonia, like I said, it's still out there, and that's still getting seen by people. We're still pushing that as well. So, and you can see behind me, I got the posters. But yeah, so this will be my little podcast. This is what we're going to put out. We will put out the video and stuff on YouTube and everything, and it's not much to look at. I'm sorry. I put production value into so many other things, and this is one of those things. Honestly, I just wanted to do the podcast, but so many people are like, you should have some video. So this one I keep simple. But yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a great week, and it's fall. And Thanksgiving is going to be here before we know it. So I'll try to have another one up in another week or two. So please save us on your podcasts and Spotify or Apple and all that good stuff. And, give us a listen every 2 weeks. Find out what we're up to and what excitement's happening. Find out where Tell Them I'm Sorry's at. Find out if any more churches have reached out about This Is Why I Believe. You can find out about Diakonia and just all the things we have going on. So thank you so much. Have a great week.